You'll see it a lot better when you get to working on it. But make sure not to lose those clips, because without that, 2 clips would probably hold it on either side, but 4 clips is definitely better. I've actually lost the top clip already. I have no idea what happened to it. I lost that on the original install. So you actually don't have to pull this out to do the chrome mesh insert like I did. Really all you have to do is cut it to size and put it in there, and use these here, I'll show you the you can't even see that on the video, can you? Well, yeah, you can sort of see them. Those are the little wires that I used. They're originally all braided together to form the picture hanging wire, but you have to unbraid them to get the tiny little wires that the hanging wire is made of apart to thread through. So I lost this original top clip on the install trying to be creative and do something else, which required removing the whole insert, and I blew it. I lost the clip, but it's in there pretty good with just the 3 clips that are in there. So that now we have our chrome mesh out. Well, I have my chrome mesh out, and now I'm gonna start putting it all back together by putting my license plate back on and running the bolts. And before I forget, whenever you do put those, if you do this and you put run those bolts through your license plate, be sure to put a tiny little bit of thread locker on those nuts whenever you tighten them down. You don't want to get it real tight, because you don't want to mess up, you don't want to smash the plastic of your factory grill insert here. So just get them kind of snug, and then put a little bit of thread locker on there, because you don't want to have to take all this crap apart if for some reason those nuts back off. And I just wanted to put that in there before I forgot. So I have removed the chrome mesh and reinserted my bolts through the grill insert with the license plate, and I made sure that the bolts are straight through. I made sure that my license plate is more or less center. Make sure your bolts aren't at any kind of a strange sideways angle, so when you do tighten your nuts down, it doesn't beat up your insert too bad. So that's it as far as the putting on a license plate without drilling any holes or any aftermarket devices. The bolts and the nuts and the washers are something that most people have just laying around, but I mean, you can pick them up just about anywhere for a couple bucks. Get some stainless ones. Okay, so I have the air dam back in. It is no small feat to get it in there, but don't be afraid to bend on it quite a bit, because it'll hold up to it from my experience. So the main thing as far as getting it in, I highly recommend looking at the holes where your little push pins are going to go into, and making sure those are all lined up before you actually get it in there, and make sure you don't have it upside down or backwards or anything. These little slide guides right here should be going over the top of this part of the frame here. Well, that's hard to see. It should go over it and not under it. And with that said as well, this will cause you a bunch of headache. I know it did me. If you don't do this when putting it in, if that's down and open like that, this side, when you try to slide it on, it will not slide on. That is actually supposed to be, it's supposed to kind of slide in that little area as well. It's got its own little area to slide into. So whenever you get that done on both sides, these bad boys will slide into place, and you'll have your holes hopefully lined up to put your push pins in. See, that's in. That's in right here. Hard to see. That's in its little slot. It goes up around the side here. You can see the hole where I'm going to put the push pin in and where that's going to go. Anywho, hopefully. Alright, I have the push pins in. This is the right side one, one of the modified ones that have the screws on the end, so whenever you need to take these out again, or if you ever need to, you can just grab on to the end of that screw that's only partially screwed all the way in, and just give it a good yank and it will pop the push pin. And here's the last remaining push pin, one of the ones on the bottom. You push that in, that bad boy locks it in there, and that's it for the air dam. Next we'll be taking out the hood scoops. I've already removed one. Kind of show you what it looks like when you take one out. They come out incredibly easy, and as you might be able to see, there's two little holes here, and all that holds this thing in here is, first, I mean, you got to slide it on this guide, this ridges of metal back here, and then push these pins in, but I'll show you that here in a sec. Anyway, everybody, I highly recommend getting the right tool to pull these little pins out that hold your insulation on. Otherwise you end up with crap like this. It's a cheap tool and you'll definitely use it again. I tried to use screwdrivers on the install a couple years ago and subsequently broke some of the clips and jacked up my insulation in the process. So get the right tool. Highly recommended. These little rubber inserts, whatever you want to call, they pull out really easy. See? That's what it looks like. I guess it lets air in there or something, I don't know. But anyway, you pull that out. I've already removed the clips. When you pull your insulation down, it reveals two of these little rubber covers. Pull those off with your fingers. And that will reveal the two blue clips that hold the hood scoop insert in. Now there's a couple ways you can go about getting these off. One way is to actually use like a set of pliers or something and compress the outsides. Boy, that's hard to see. Compress the outsides. And then you can kind of push it through. That's one way. See, that's pushed through. Or, what I like to do is I like to take a pair of smooth needle nose pliers. They don't have any teeth on them, any ridges. Stick it in the middle. Stick it in the middle of that clip. And then open them, and that'll push those little edges in so you can push it through. And you can push them up the rest of the way. There we go. Let's see what this looks like on the top side again. See, now our hood scoop has popped out a little bit. We can just pull it up a little bit and pull it towards you, towards the front of the vehicle. And it glides off nice and easy. These are those little blue clips that were holding it in there. It's got a little rubber shield here on the bottom that we'll have to remove to get to the ties that I use to put the chrome inserts on. But well, here I'll go ahead and put this back on just to show you what it's like when it goes back on. See some metal there. That's going to be kind of a guide. It will slide right on there. And make sure it's in all the way. And then what you do is you'd push down on the front of this to push those pins back through the underside. But we don't want to do that. We want to take this chrome out first. Here is the hood scoop insert over here. Don't mind the diesel injector that I have in a million parts over here. That's something totally different and will not be on YouTube. But anyway, once again, just like the bottom, I don't know if you can see this, I have that really fine wire that I unbraided from the picture hanging wire holding the chromey part of this thing on. Now this whole the whole insert that goes in there, the factory insert, is actually held in with little dabs of, it's hard to say if it was heat molded in there, but it would probably be a pain to take this thing off. I'm not going to. I mean, it's you guys do whatever you want with your cars, but I like the factory look anyway, and I like to keep it kind of sleeper anyway. So there are two clips holding this on here. Well, yeah, I guess you can call them clips. There's one right here that you have to compress. Well, it's easier to compress it to get it off there, but this stuff is pretty soft plastic. See, I popped that off of there. And then there's one on the other side here. It looks a bit different, and it's more of a hook. Man, it's so dark, it's hard to see. See, that just actually just came right off. I guess it's more of a guide. So to put it back on, you'd want to line your guide up here. Clips on that side, and then you push through right here. Makes a very satisfying snapping sound, and you got whatever the heck this thing is back on there. And I'm pretty sure you can figure out the rest from there. The other side's exactly the same. And I hope this was informative, and have fun with it.